him spit his fucking drink out.
Ridiculous. It's a wonderful world.
All right, what are we getting up to? This goddamn sign my goddamn head. I hit my head so bad I got a little scab on it.
Did you hit your head?
I hit it on a door.
You hit it on a door?
There's a door. My door to the backyard is too low, and I scraped my head.
What a retard.
I know. That's what I said to myself as I was doing it.
How nice the book looks here. Doesn't it actually literally make the room look nicer? It
actually literally makes it look like we read.
Well, I did. I read 100 pages. That's not nothing.
Oh, look at you. When are you going to be done?
It's a pretty easy book to read.
Give it to me when you're done.
Yeah? Yeah. Well, you'll read it? All right. Okay.
I'm going to start doing another thing. I'm going to start rice. Okay, so I'm about to have
okay, John.
a glow up.
You're about to... John is plotting and scheming for the next chapter of his life, folks, which will be recounted on these shows, so we are not going to...
Only
That's fucking right.
And it's going to be, so I'm calling it blade running. It's going to be walking around town late at night, meeting people. ASMR for you guys. But, no, I have a buddy. I'm going to stack money, get jacked. It'll be cool. I think I'm going to go down to, I think I figured out which gym I'm going to go to.
I'm going to stack money and get jacked. And I have been gaining a lot of muscle, so I think...
Yeah.
It's a little concerning because it's making my arms look fatter, but other than that, I'm liking the results.
Yeah, I'm going to start working out at 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu maybe in like...
Yeah, let them know the exact coordinates of where you're going to work out.
If I ever get attacked or bothered, the last place that it would ever happen would be a jiu-jitsu gym.
Yeah.
If you want to come and bother me at a jiu-jitsu gym...
The only thing you're going to get attacked by a jiu-jitsu gym is by hand, foot, and mouth disease.
No, that's the only thing. If you want to come and bother me, if you want to try to get into a jiu-jitsu gym and start taking photos, you're welcome to. But, yeah, go ahead.
We have a loyal gay cohort following John.
Who?
You do. You know, when I started this podcast, I had some sort of sick inkling that I would be the one getting hit on the most.
No.
Incidentally, it's you.
Well,
and here I am feeling like a narcissist and like a big dummy that I thought I would ever be the draw.
Yeah, gay dudes love me.
Certainly not. I thought gay dudes would love me. And I do love Joseph. Joseph, who's not even on our Patreon, actually. You're not even here right now. He told me I had to sell him on the Patreon. I said, bitch, skirt. No, thank you.
Shut up, Joseph.
You are either in or you're not. And eventually he will be, and he will listen to this. So
I'm a manic pixie dream boy, and gay guys love it.
He told me, he's like, I have to sell you on the Patreon. I'll be like, I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm not going to sell you on the Patreon, but I will talk about you on the Patreon, and that should be advertisement for the Patreon enough. The fact that you were mentioned. Mm-hmm. He leaves such funny comments. I've become friends with him because the comments he leaves are so fucking funny. My
mustache was like strawberry cream or something. Like
strawberry cream. He does have a mustache.
Somebody said my mustache reminds him of strawberry cream.
Also, like did Devin call me strawberry cream? Well, how does your mustache remind them of?
It's just a gay thing gay guys say, I guess. I don't know.
So somebody left the funniest comment I've ever read on my YouTube, but I sent it. No, that would have been a novel. I'll read it to you. It's pretty crazy because I need you to confirm or deny if this was ever said about me, but let me see if I can find it. It was very good. It was like a great comment, and now I can't find it. Oh, I sent it to him. I sent it to Devin. I can just look at the screenshot. Oh yeah, this was the comment. They left it. It was like on the first episode we ever did. It says, Devin describes Ida as some sort of Slavic farmer lady, but look, there she is, not a hunchback Siberian woman.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Describes you
as a Slavic farmer and a hunchback Siberian woman?
No, he never says that. But like, I think the way he talks about you is as if he is.
I sent him the message, and I go, interesting, and then he goes, he goes. I've never said anything like that. He's like, I'm not even capable of coming up with something like that.
Yeah, he wouldn't come up with that.
He said that's a Red Scare level insult and that he's not. And actually, it's kind of true. He would never refer to me probably as a Slavic farmer. But what do you mean? That's the essence of what he says about me. He says I'm some sort of nerd or something. Like, some sort of... What
are you trying to get me to rat on Dev on a podcast?
Yeah, for entertainment purposes. It's not real beef. It's fake podcast. It's friendly fire. It's friendly fire.
I think these people confuse being in a long-term relationship with
John, I'm not going to get mad. I want to know why I'm such a Slavic farmer.
I'm trying to explain it to you.
But you're not
listening to me.
You're trying to give me the essence of what Devin means. I want to know the words that come out of his mouth.
Nothing like that.
Okay.
And he never says anything close to anything like
that. He's never once alluded to me being a hunchback
he's never
Siberian woman.
He's never said anything other than you're beautiful.
Well, I hope he said something other than that.
He would never, ever describe... I think he's never, ever
described... By the way, if he called me a hunchback Siberian woman, I would be proud of him. I think that's funny.
He's never said anything other than you're attractive and the most beautiful woman he's ever met.
He did call me ugly recently.
He did? Well, to you. That's how he keeps you in line. That's how he keeps you around. He
said on the other episode...
I actually shouldn't be telling you. I shouldn't be telling you that he says...
You should stir the pot for the sake of the show.
No, I shouldn't be telling you that he speaks positively of you because it's gonna make
because I think there's something that makes me suspicious. It's a little sus.
That he speaks positively around you, around his buddies?
Never anything negative about me? Never? I doubt that.
Oh, yeah, he says negative things about you.
Okay, on the podcast, I mean.
No, not on the podcast, no.
Oh. No. Oh, well, what's he saying about me not on the podcast, Johnny?
Oh, I'm saying the same things you probably say about him when he's not on the podcast. You guys are in a long-term relationship. Sometimes you annoy each other.
Whatever, John.
It's silly.
As a Slavic farmer.
You're being a woman.
As a Slavic farmer and a hunchback Siberian woman. No, honestly, the comment made me laugh really hard, and it was really funny. I was really going to be proud of him if he came up with something.
No, he's never ever. He wouldn't do that.
I have been trying to work on my posture. Well, that makes it all the more funny that guy left that comment. That's actually a great comment.
I think what that guy's
because he's inciting a fight. First of all, he's wreaking havoc, and he's also being very creative and very funny.
He got you. What I think is happening. Dude.
I hope he leaves more like that.
People who don't. All these dudes online put you on such a pedestal.
Do they?
Yeah. So I think these guys see you and they're like, oh my God, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life.
They say that about you.
They say about me because I am. But
they say John is the most beautiful woman on planet Earth.
Yeah, I'm stunning. I'm more woman than you'll ever get, and I'm more man than you'll ever be. But to all the audience.
That's actually probably true.
Yeah. To all the audience members out there. Yeah, I think they confuse the nonchalantness of after a year of being with somebody, 2 years of being with somebody, it's kind of like you can be with fucking Jennifer Aniston. You're gonna be like, yeah, it's fucking Jen. You know what I mean? I think they see that.
It's a hunchback Siberian woman, Jen.
No, they think they confuse that with him. They project onto him like this weird thing.
I'm happy to be a Slavic farmer. I think they probably have great work ethic.
Shut up.
No, I really do. I think they probably have so many redeemable qualities.
Yeah, they look like fucking potatoes.
Yeah. No, I'm totally fine with that if that is something he said about me.
That's not what he said about you.
I know, but I'm not
saying I'm totally fine with it, trying to get me to be like, well, there was one time.
I'm not trying to get you to do that.
He's never said anything like that. I know exactly. I see right through your fucking ruse.
I'm not trying to do that.
Yes, you are.
You're going to say that the one time he said...
Yeah, there was one time he said you look like a sloppy Slavic hunchback woman.
He did. That's really funny.
Dipshit. He never said that.
I kind of wanted him to say it because it is a Red Scare level insult, and a part of me would be happy.
Oh, that's not that's lower than anything on Red Scare. That's not Red Scare. The Red Scare will be way more.
Saying that somebody looks like a Slavic farmer is something that would come out of their mouths.
Yeah, it's just because Slavic is in it.
No, calling someone a farmer is actually more what I meant, or hunchback Siberian woman is actually something you would say about me, and I would actually be.
No, I call you a siren of the steppe. That's what you are.
Damn, what does that mean? That sounds
kind
of
cool. I've called this to your face.
The siren is the mythical Greek figure that
you're an evil Persian woman.
People
you're
into
an evil
their
Persian
trap.
Woman of the steppe. Yeah,
What's the steppe though?
The steppe is where you're from. You worship the eagle, and your people live on the steppe.
What's the steppe?
The steppe is it's like the Mongolian steppes. It's like the plains. Mountains. I don't know. You're an amalgamation of conquered people. That's what Persians are.
I am not a conquered people.
You've been conquered multiple times by Arabs and by Greeks and by
please.
Please. Why don't you worship the fucking eagle anymore?
I do.
You worship the eagle in the sky?
I wear the sky.
Your people worship Muhammad because you were
Or I
conquered.
wear the necklace. No, I don't fucking worship
I know
anybody.
You don't worship Muhammad, but your people do because they were conquered by Arabs.
God, it's so sad, isn't it?
It's what happens.
It's a tragedy still, I think.
We're getting conquered by fucking George Soros. It's just what happens.
Yeah. So what a 2015 talking point. Way to resurface that one. Very good.
Dude, he's been popping off lately. Elon Musk just pissed off about him this week.
The House of Cards rewatch, I cannot recommend it enough to you guys if you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen it, it is because it's before Trump. It's pre-Trump. So it's this undisturbed moment of time where we really were living in a very it was so much more stately seeming. Donald Trump hadn't really been there to corrupt the idea of Washington in our minds. And now we really see it for what it is. Regardless of how you feel about Trump. It's just
a nursing home.
It is. It's not as hard to break as we might have thought at one point in time. But anyways, we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna watch some Tiffy.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna watch some Tiffy.
You got Tiffy up there?
Yeah, we got Tiffy.
You pulled her up?
No, but I'm about to. Come on, me prepared. Who do you think I am? Who do you think I am?
Who do you think? I know, it's crazy. You used to have all these articles, and now it's just Tiffy.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of articles, before we do that, we should talk about the Hasan Minhaj article.
Love Hasan.
You do?
No.
I was like, boy.
I love the Sam Hyde when he challenged Hasan Minhaj.
Profile.
Oh, no, not Hasan. Hasan Piker is who I was thinking of.
Oh, we ain't
hate that dipshit.
Well, we might have
Hasan Minhaj I hate too.
Point,
emotional truth. Shut the fuck up, Hasan Minhaj.
Well, no, this is a scathing profile they wrote about him in the New Yorker. I was
good.
I was shocked.
Oh, lovely.
I was really surprised.
Can I scan? May I scan?
Of course.
You read while I scan.
We're
just
going to read.
Okay, yeah. Pull that bitch up on the screen.
Shit. Oh. Did I do? Yeah, there it is.
You read or I read?
I'll read.
You read.
You scan.
I scan.
You scan, I read. The comedian Hasan Minhaj came of age as a practicing Muslim in an Indian family in post 9/11 America. His Netflix series, Patriot Act, a comedy news show in the mold of The Daily Show and Last Week Tonight, was named for the defining law of that era. The series won an Emmy and a Peabody Award during its 2-year run. His stage work as a stand-up comic has led to 2 Netflix comedy specials, which have drawn plaudits, I've never even heard of that word, for Minhaj's blend of autobiographical storytelling and social justice commentary. He recently conducted a lengthy sit-down interview with Barack Obama and is the leading candidate to succeed Trevor Noah, as the next host of The Daily Show. In 2019, Minhaj was selected as one of Time Magazine's. Okay, this is just like, yes, we know. He's had a big voice. What is this? No, thank you.
New Yorker's not free, baby.
I get the New Yorker mailed to me for some reason, yeah, and I couldn't find it. I was like, you know what? I have the magazine. I'll read it in the magazine. Sit on my phone. I couldn't find it. Okay, so this is basically Minhaj's approach to comedy. He leans heavily on his own experience as an Asian American and Muslim American, telling harrowing stories of law enforcement entrapment and personal threats. For many of his fans, he has become an avatar for the power of representation and entertainment. But after many weeks of trying, I had been unable to confirm some of the stories that he had told on stage. I mean, really, Hasan Minhaj is having a true George Santos moment.
I have an opinion about this already.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Just that he's a liar and a fraud?
Oh, no. I think a lot of comedy, like especially stand-up comedy,
sure.
A lot of jokes always stem from a seed of truth, correct? And but usually it's like, I was at the store the other day and a guy went up to me and went blah blah blah. But when it becomes completely irresponsible is when you're jumping on things like social justice 100%. And going, I was beaten by a police officer one time and he kept honking me with it. It's like
right. You're completely making up parts of your life that
irresponsible.
Felix wrote a great tweet about it that I have to
it's utterly irresponsible and also art is a reflection of personal truth. And if your personal truth is bullshit, your art's going to be bullshit.
For sure. So Felix wrote a great tweet about it. He says, this is how I feel about it. Because I agree with you. A lot of bits people tell on stage is like, it doesn't need to be true. Mm-hmm. You can lie. You can fabricate things if it helps the story come along. But if it's something that that your entire reputation is kind of built around, then it's built on a lie and you're a fraud. And a plant of the entertainment industry that needs to diversify its quota, Anyways, Felix Bitterman from Chapo Trap House, a friend of mine and a very funny guy, says he's quote tweeting a tweet that says Hasan Minhaj has built a comedy career in part on the strength of his autobiographical stand-up talking about harrowing threats and police entrapment. Does it matter if any of these things actually happened to him? My story. And so this is her article. Okay, yeah, so he's just saying... He says, I think there's a profound difference between lying in a normal comedy context and lying in comedy that you're supposed to applaud for. I think this article is good. And yeah, so that's really what it is. When you're trying to evoke what many of us now call is like the clapter, where you don't really want the laughter. You just want applause and validation and to be made to feel that you're of higher moral character than the average person that may be white, for example, God forbid, or that might have had a very ordinary American experience. That it's disingenuous. It's incredibly fucked up to purport as though you've had these unbelievable experiences that put you in a weaker position somehow, and that we're supposed to be more impressed with you that you've gotten to this place in your life after everything you've been through, but really you've lied about all of it. Like nothing you've said is true. Also, you're a shit comic. Even if everything you said was a lie, if these bits were good, I would tend to want. I would feel the desire to defend you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
He's not good.
It's just so bad.
He sucks ass.
How could you be so bad? He sucks dick. A liar.
Sucks dick. His homicide sucks dick.
Sucks dick. I mean, God.
Fart sucker.
Fart sucker for sure, John. You really so on the money once again, John. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Fart sucker.
This article, they could have saved a lot of time writing this article. You should put a
Hasan Minhaj. Fart sucker.
God damn it. Right, you keep it going.
All right, let's see. My comedy, Arnold Palmer.
Right. Oh, wait. Start here.
Oh, yeah. For many of his fans, he's become an avatar for the power of representation and entertainment. But after many weeks of trying, I had been unable to confirm some of the stories that he has told on stage. When we met on a recent afternoon at a comedy club in the West Village, Minhaj acknowledged for the first time that many of the anecdotes he related in his Netflix specials were untrue. Still, he said that he stood by his work. Every story, no, not the West Village, comedy club in the West Village. Every story in my style is built around a seed of truth, he said. My comedy, Arnold Palmer, is 70% emotional truth. This happened, and 30% hyperbole, exaggeration, and fiction. Okay, 30. Okay, great, nice percent. If you want to talk about percentages, Hasan, we can pull up some FBI. No, I'm just kidding. And Minhaj's 2022 Netflix stand-up special, The King's Jester. Wow. Amazing. Wow, what a deep title. Yeah. Ooh, I'm the King's Jester.
He thinks he's Voltaire.
Oh, I'm just the clown that anyone... Shut the fuck up. A biographical reflection on fame, vainglory, and Minhaj's obsession with social media clout. He relays a story about an FBI informant who infiltrated his family's Sacramento area mosque in 2002 when Minhaj was a junior in high school. This is so bullshit.
It's crazy.
When Minhaj... Jesus. As Minhaj tells it, brother Eric, a muscle-bound white man who said he was a convert to Islam, gained the trust of the mosque community. Yeah, it's me. He went to dinner at Minhaj's house and even offered to teach weight training in the to the community's teenage boys. But Minhaj had brother Eric pegged from the beginning. Eventually, brother Eric tried to entice the boy into talking about jihad. Minhaj decided to mess with brother Eric, telling him he wanted to get his pilot's license. As soon as the police were on the scene, slamming Minhaj against the hood of a car. Years later, watching the news with his father, Minhaj saw a story about Craig Montiel, who assumed the cover of personal trainer when he became an FBI informant in Muslim communities in Southern California. Well, Papa, look who it is, Minhaj recalls telling his father. It's our good friend, brother Eric. Wow. Full of shit.
I mean...
Full of shit.
Without a doubt.
Full of shit.
Without a doubt.
Full of shit, Minhaj. Now, here's the deal, Minhaj.
Yeah,
Any of those people who were at that mosque where Craig Montiel, they could have become really good stand-up comedians and told this story. But you, my friend, you cannot.
You were not the one.
Just because, listen, guys, I could be a white guy, I could be a Christian, whatever. I don't get the right to talk about being at Waco. You know, I wasn't.
Well, apparently
there.
you do have that right.
Now I can. On stage, a large screen behind Minhaj flashes news footage from Al Jazeera English report on Montiel. Minhaj's teenage hunch, it seems, is proved right. The moment is played for laughs, but the story underscores the threat that being Muslim in the United States carried during those early days of the War on Terror. Minhaj segues into the case of Hamid Hayat, a young man from another Sacramento area town who spent much of his adult life in prison based on a confession his attorney said was coerced. He just got out of prison this past June, Minhaj says, his tone turning defiant. Man, he's my age. He's 36. I think about Hamad all the time.
Sure you do.
Listen, Minhaj, this goes back to that Norm McDonald stand-up
R.I.P. 2 years today.
R.I.P. Where it was, God, what did he say?
I don't know, but we should honor him by playing the clip that I had on Twitter.
Hold on. It was so funny. This is the best.
This is a rather troublesome thing I've got to
Let's turn it up a little bit.
address. This was in Adam Eagle's dressing room.
ISIS sign he's holding up.
ISIS hunting permit. What does this mean even? ISIS hunting permit. Everyone would want to kill ISIS. And then you said, no, I wouldn't want to kill ISIS. I said, wait, does that mean ISIS hunting permit? Does that mean that this is supposed to be taken as some sort of redneck thing?
Yeah, it seems like it would be on like
Why
a
would this be a
redneck
redneck thing?
Well, it just seems typical of something you'd see on the back of a pickup
right,
truck.
but I said after that, I said, but no, everyone would want to kill ISIS. And then what did you say?
It's not mine. It's not mine.
Whether or not it's yours, you were defending it earlier when we talked about it just now.
I don't. No, I think you're.
What did you say just now?
No, I'm saying that. First of all, it doesn't make sense.
Is this Adam Egan?
I said,
you're trying.
The thing is that somebody would use that as permission to kill Muslims just because they couldn't differentiate between who is ISIS and
why
who
would
is,
they not say Muslim hunting permit?
Well, because they sort of look at all Muslims as being ISIS. You know, I think ISIS is terrible.
Absolutely.
And everybody here listed, Boko Haram in particular, I have a lot of rage towards. However, somebody would take this in the wrong way. I mean, somebody would look at this and think of it as permission to kill all Muslims, which is sort of a sentiment that's going around in conservative circles, which is not the right way to look at Muslim America.
Yeah.
It's like saying somebody like Timothy McVeigh is all Christians.
Yeah, I've read some figures about
very
80% of a lot of these nations don't agree with it. They're against ISIS.
Well spoken.
The point, I don't know where you found it. It's not from my dressing room. I don't have a dressing room.
Well, who cares about a dressing room? We're talking about it. Did you hear what?
Yes, I agree with everything Margaret just said. 1,000%.
Yes.
It's like after 9/11, people were shooting Sikhs, people from India who had nothing to
do.
Yeah.
And it's just this unawareness of.
Yes, thank you, Margaret.
ignorance.
Yes,
I can't
we
say my
know.
friend's
Good
name, but he
God.
said his biggest fear is that ISIS or some terrorist group like that would get a hold of a dirty bomb.
He's reminding me of Joey right now.
Explode over a major city within the United
So weird.
States.
Joey, I guess, is reminding me of Norm.
Oh, yeah.
And kill tens of millions of people. Because then the blowback against innocent Muslims would be absolutely terrible.
That's true.
Okay, let's do some jokes.
Can you believe it's comedians sitting next to him? It's amazing, right? These
the
are
blowback
comedians
against innocent Muslims would be terrible. It's like, dude.
Did you see Louis J. Gomez today? He's in trouble too.
What'd he do?
For like being mean to his producer and shit.
That's the Skankfest is on. They got
amazing that
3
I even
years
actually-
left in them. Don't get me started. But
Yeah, they're done. They're done. God love him.
That's the funniest thing is people like Hasan Minhaj. Dude, we locked Japanese people up.
Here in America.
And camps. And you know what? Is the funny thing is, if you look into that, and I'm not justifying it at all. I'm not justifying it at all.
I liked FDR too, Johnny. I like him too.
There was a Japanese pilot who crash landed on one of the islands of Hawaii, and the Japanese community, that they hid him for like a week. And after that, they were like, we're locking all these people up. But the thing is, yeah, listen. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't matter because
I'm not saying
everything
it's right. I'm just saying, like, why?
Well, what isn't right? The thing that didn't happen to him.
Exactly.
That's the point here. It's
Shut
not
up,
even. It's not even
Hasan.
like the treatment of it. Yeah, of course the abject fucking discrimination, blanket discrimination over Muslim people after 9/11 was horrific.
Do you know how I would be
denying that.
treated
By the
in
way,
Egypt?
I mean, John,
Like shit.
No, it's not. Hold on, you're doing a different thing. You're trying to justify the way they were treated versus just saying that it's. No,
it's wrong. It's wrong.
It's wrong. The point, though, is that it wasn't happening to him in the way that he says. He might have gotten a head turn here and there, but it's like, buddy, you're fucking Indian. Yeah. You're not even you're not the typical. Yeah. You think they were looking at you the way they were looking at
Indian
fucking
or Pakistani?
Well, that's the same fucking thing. It is. Ethnically, it's the same fucking thing. I mean, India's massive, dude. There's so many different religions and fucking languages and regions of India, so many different classes. But the fucking Pakistan is Muslim, but that's why it's Pakistan, because it's not India. Yeah. India's like, we aren't a part of that, and you do your. I don't know exactly at one point I read the history of that a long time ago. Actually, when I was learning enough to get onto Jeopardy, I was like reading about the big war there. But Yeah, you were gonna face a lot more problems if you were from Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, a place where you have to wear a headscarf or a hijab, things like that. They're gonna discriminate against those people all fucking day long. In fact, Sikh people, they would get discriminated more. Who are Indians, I guess, but you know this whole faking it for your non-comedy. For your fucking liberal shit I mean, it's like, what is the difference between this guy and Samantha Bee? I don't know. I truly don't know. What is the difference? I mean, at least John Oliver had talent at one point before he turned into a total cuck. Mm-hmm. At least he was funny, and we were all like, oh, he's British, but it's okay, he's talented, you know? But then he's just like, then at a certain point, you're like, oh,
Cheeto man,
you're a cuck, a loser. Oh, and you're not even American. The fuck do we care what you think about us? You fucking got a deal here. Trevor Noah, you're the guy. You're the guy. Give me Jon Stewart all day long. You know, and Jon Stewart wasn't always taking it to the level he could have really taken it by. Norm did. Let's talk about this for fucking... I tweeted this the other day. I tweeted this after he died, this video. I mean,
Jesus.
That's as soon as I go to Twitter, it's just Fat Ben. It's just as soon as I... It's unbelievable. I mean, this is like so abject. It's so abject and disgusting. Like, I'm gonna have him on here. I gotta have Ben on here soon. I have to schedule it. He like what is this?
Kicks ass, dude. You'll never understand this.
I understand it a lot more than you think I do.
It's just funny, dude.
I really understand a lot of this. Fucking his obsession with fat people is fucking crazy, bro. He's mad that The Whale's not still in theater, so he's got to turn himself into Brendan Fraser. Right. This.
What is that?
That's Ben saying that the new Patreon is out. Have you seen that before? Have you seen a stomach that looks like that before?
That's wild, brother.
Bro.
That's a big boy.
Bro.
Look, I want to put my bounce on top of that thing like a bounce house.
Dude.
Look
it's a fucking planet. It's a fucking planet.
Look at it's like draped on the wall.
Look at the stretch mark. Look at the S shape that's making. Oh,
my stretch marks kind of disappeared, which is cool.
That's nice.
They do go away with time, guys.
They do go away. Yeah, all pain goes away. Anyways, a little bit more about. This is where he gets busted about the. Yeah, keep going. He gets busted. He gets busted.
On stage,
he gets busted for lying about the FBI.
Later in the special, Minhaj speaks about the fallout from the Patriot Act segments on killing of Jamal Khashoggi and Narendra Modi's Hindu nationalism. And wait, the killing of Jamal Khashoggi and Narendra Modi's Hindu nationalism. The big screen plays threatening tweets that were sent to Minhaj. Most disturbing, he tells the story of a letter sent to his home, which was filled with white powder. The contents accidentally spilled onto his young daughter. The child was rushed to the hospital. It turned out not to be anthrax, but it's a sobering reminder that Minhaj's comedic actions have real-world consequences. Later that night, his wife, in a fury, told him that she was pregnant with their second child. You get to say whatever you want on stage. We have to live with the consequences, Minhaj recalls her saying. I don't give a shit that Time magazine thinks you're an influencer. If you ever put my kid in danger again, I'll leave you in a second. Doesn't matter that none of those things really happened to Minhaj. Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
It does, because that's isn't
crazy.
It's not like Pryor telling some story on stage that you know is a joke.
By the way, how the fuck did you let white powder spill on your daughter if that is a true story?
With you?
Listen, dude.
Why are you opening your own mail? And do you think that we think that you're opening your own mail?
Yeah. Hindu nationalists.
Are you opening the envelope over your daughter?
Yeah, he's Pakistani if Hindu nationalists are coming after him. But the thing is like
this is a Scott Peterson-esque kind of personality. Yeah. This guy would kill his wife and a child in a heartbeat if it meant getting another stand-up special. I'm telling you.
This is great. Prior to my meeting
with that'll slit your throat to get ahead.
Prior to my meeting with Minhaj, Montiel, aka Brother Eric, had told me that Minhaj's story is a fabrication. I have no idea why he would do that, Montiel said. Montiel was imprisoned in 2002 and didn't begin to work for the FBI on counterterrorism measures until 2006. Isn't that great? You can just go to prison and then go work for the FBI as an
scheming the next chapter of his life.
Details of his undercover actions were cataloged in a legal case that has made its way to the Supreme Court. Montiel said that he'd worked only in Southern California, not the Sacramento area. The New York Police Department, which investigates incidents of possible Bacillus anthracis, Anthrax had no record of incidents like the one Minhaj describes, nor do area hospitals.
There'd be a police report. Yeah, what a bad liar, actually.
Front desk and mailroom employees of Minhaj's former residents don't remember such an incident, nor do Patriot Act employees involved with the show's security or Minhaj's security guard from the time. During our conversations, Minhaj admitted that his daughter had never been exposed to white powder and that she hadn't been hospitalized. He had opened up a letter delivered to his apartment, he said, and it contained some sort of powder. Minhaj said that he had made a joke to his wife saying, "Holy shit, what if this is anthrax?" He said that he never told anyone on the show about his letter, despite the fact there were concerns about his security at the time, and the Netflix special had hired protection for Minhaj. The brother Eric's story, Minhaj said, was based on a hard foul he received during a game of pickup basketball in his youth. Minhaj and other teenage Muslims played pickup games with middle-aged men from who the boys suspected were officers. One made a show of pushing Minhaj to the ground. Minhaj insisted that, though both stories are made up, they're based on emotional truth. The broader points he was trying to make justified concocting stories in which to deliver them. The punchline is worth the fictionalized premise, he says. What punchline?
What? Yeah, where's the punchline?
Where's the punchline,
You're telling
Minhaj?
a story where you're a victim and your family's a victim and you're the bad guy, by the way. You fucking spilled the powder on your daughter. You know what he's trying to do right now? He's trying to pull a Dave Chappelle. He's trying to be an incredible storyteller like Dave Chappelle, and he's trying to do the thing that Dave Chappelle did where he like told the story about the trans comic who then killed herself, but like he became close with her even though he's supposed to be like a trans enemy. He actually became a trans ally, and then trans girl killed herself. And as I was listening to that story, I was like, is this even true? Part of me was like, I don't really care about this. And the other part of me was like, God, he's such a brilliant storyteller. And I love Dave Chappelle. He's a fucking absolute legend and incredible at what he does. But Dave Chappelle would never let something like this happen. And I don't think he fabricates in the same way. And I think Hasan Minhaj is really trying to emulate a story that kind of hits you emotionally, but also makes you laugh. But he's unable to do that because he's not funny fundamentally at all. And he's a fucking liar now too, on top of it. On top of not being talented, he's also bad at lying, which is... Can you do, like, George Santos is entertaining, right?
Yeah.
And he's funny. So if he's a bad liar, we don't give a shit because he's got other redeeming qualities, right? Which is he's funny and interesting. What is Hasan Minhaj bringing to the table? Other than using the word Patriot Act for your show and then doing nothing with it.
By the way, shit's like 20 years old. Shut up.
I mean, yeah, but it's like, how dare you even steal the valor of like having anything to do with you know, talking about something like that, and really you're saying nothing of any consequence or substance on your show.
Let's see.
Are you talking about why
no,
the
I don't
Patriot
think
Act
I'm
is shitty?
manipulating,
No.
he told me. I think they're coming from an emotional roller coaster ride. He went on. To the people that are like, yo, this is way too crazy to happen, I don't care because, yes, fuck yes, that's the point. But was his invention of traumatic experience with this child or with law enforcement entrapment distasteful given the moral heft of those things? And the fact that people have actually experienced them is grounded in truth, Minhaj
How?
said. But
What's
didn't happen
grounded
to
in
you, I
truth?
replied. I think what I'm ultimately trying to do is highlight all those stories, he said, building to what I think is a pointed argument as opposed to a pointless riff of jokes. So here's the thing, buddy,
That's a terrible defense of a lie. Awful.
I'm going to be honest here.
Highlight all those stories of little girls whose dads are liar comedians getting fucking weird mysterious powders spilled on them by their liar father.
Okay.
All those stories
should never happen.
I didn't realize this was such a common thing.
Well, you know what's funny is like a lot of those anthrax scares were sent to government officials after 9/11. Number one. And then
True.
a lot of radicalization happens in mosques.
Yeah,
Okay.
No kidding.
And I'm sorry that 3,000 people died in a terror attack on New York City, and then the FBI, which, by the way,
And we're sorry that it was your fault, Hasan.
it was your fault, Hasan. No,
We're sorry that you had to be involved in such a disgusting ploy to hurt the American people, Hasan.
I'm happy they were sending fucking FBI undercover agents to mosques to
That
make
was
sure
just
that
John
wasn't
pretending
happening.
to be an FBI undercover agent
No,
that Hasan Minhaj hired to pretend to be
sorry.
an FBI agent so that he could go lie on his fucking shit comedy special and talk about it.
Are we not talking about the ones who caught people? Like, what about the FBI agents who caught people?
Wait, I don't know. I don't understand.
No, he's like he's saying it's like a complete injustice to have this
like
happen
every
and stuff.
FBI agent is a racist.
Listen,
Well,
every
listen,
FBI agent
I'm
is
not
a
here
racist.
to ever defend the FBI. So
Every FBI agent is a racist.
You
FBI
can do that all
sucks.
you want.
FBI sucks. Don't give me that.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, here's the problem with
I ain't
liberals and
bleeding
law
blue
enforcement.
except for the Dallas Mavs.
Yeah, there was this Texas governor, I think, that came out and he was like, and
Greg
I think
Abbott?
I
Or Rick
forget.
Perry?
He had a campaign ad or something. I don't know if it was
Rick
Texas, some of
Perry?
those southern states.
One of those southern states.
Those
Christ.
filthy southern states.
Jesus,
and then
John.
the guy had an ad and he says, if you don't back the blue, next time you have a problem, call a crackhead. And it's like,
Well, that ain't Texas.
that's the fucking, like, what
Dallas,
do you want?
Dallas bleeds blue. Let me tell you what.
It was the largest terror attack in it was the largest fucking terror attack in United States history.
9/11?
Like, what do you? Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, what do you expect them to do, Hasan? Is there any understanding for
pretty bad?
It's like, dude, yeah, they're gonna send some people to mosques to be undercover agents to make sure guys aren't getting radicalized.
Well, John, I mean, you're giving him too much credit by even insinuating that he would even think this far because he's retard.
He's
an idiot. He can't even lie well about his made up FBI garbage. Also, invoking the FBI in your shit comedy stand up special as though nobody's gonna fact check that.
Yes.
Do you know who watches you? Fucking other shit libs. And you know what they love to do more than anything is pretend to fact check. And so they're gonna fact check your dog shit on this, and then eventually one of them's gonna be like, you know what, I work for the New Yorker, but I have a point of view, and I'm gonna fucking call you a liar.
And I'm gonna tell you something.
Everyone on the internet's gonna love me, and here we go.
In the same breath,
and away we go.
I wish FBI agents would treat Proud Boys the way they treated fucking, Black Panthers in the 1960s.
How you mean?
I wish all radicals who are capable of committing violence were investigated. But that was a big one in the early 2000s. And you know what? There's going to be some, they're not fucking, it's law enforcement. It happens.
Let's keep it going. It's pretty interesting, actually. I'm kind of into this.
Let's see.
John and I are good at reading out loud.
I'm all right. I get my brain.
I never got anxiety reading out loud in class.
Didn't either,
did you?
but
I actually loved it. I was like excited when it was my
me.
turn. I was like, I'm going to perform now. I'm going to show these idiots how to read.
Yeah, Minhaj said, there we go. Minhaj says, that was so horrible when that one kid who doesn't know how to read had to read. You could just see the pain in his face. Minhaj says in The King's Jester about his attempt to interview Mohammed bin Salman in 2018. The Saudi crown prince was doing a U.S. public relations blitz, meeting with Michael Bloomberg and Oprah, among others, and Minhaj set up a meeting at the Saudi embassy in D.C. to discuss the prospect of a sit-down with him. Minhaj's wife, he says, disapproved of his attempts to antagonize the Saudis, so he hid the visit from her.
Here for some
Why would you
reasons.
hide number one, this guy treats his wife like shit if he's telling these stories.
Well, then he is really a Muslim, isn't he?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, there we go.
Sorry.
A theme from the special is her resistance to his despot-baiting comedy stylings. On Hillman's podcast, Minhaj said that his comedy put my marriage through a lot, and The King's Jester is an exploration of how far I'm willing to take a joke.
Your marriage has been put through a lot by your constant lying.
Yeah, during the special, Minhaj
pathological habits of just using your wife as some crutch to finish your lie.
She's 3D printing your lineage in her stomach, and you're like going to. Why do you need to Why do you need to like talk to Saudi Arabians?
He doesn't even have a wife. Like, we're going to find out he's literally not married and there's no child. Yeah.
During the special, Minhaj describes the meeting at the...
He's gay and he's dating Obama.
He's for sure gay if he's Pakistani. During the special, Minhaj describes the meeting at the Saudi embassy as vaguely hostile. The Saudis said they didn't want to be ridiculed by a comedian and that they'd be watching him. Good.
That's awesome.
Minhaj took a train back to New York, where upon arrival, he recalls, everybody in the office is texting me. Are you okay? Are you all right? Are you watching the news? According to Minhaj, news has just broken about the murder of the journalist Khashoggi inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Thank God he didn't meet with the Saudis, his wife told. You think they do that to you, Minhaj?
Oh, no,
You think they'd cut your head off?
You're really making your wife look like an idiot here.
Oh, man, what a pussy. He's like, oh, God, are you okay? Oh, dude, you're just like Khashoggi.
Pathetic.
Minhaj has admitted to feeling guilty about not being more forthright with his wife, but he also loved the attention.
Everything he's ever said about her is made up.
Yeah, that the paycheck received when it aired a well-timed episode soon after the murder. He was invited to the Time 100 Gala, where he says that he watched Jared Kushner enter the room and boogishly. Is it Kushner?
It's Kushner.
Kushner. Who is Jared Kushner?
Jared Kushner. Oh my God, John, you don't know who Jared Kushner?
No, what did he do?
He's Ivanka Trump's husband. He's a bajillionaire.
That's right. He's
a bajillionaire. He worked very closely in the Trump administration and was able to wield quite a bit of power given the lack of experience he had politically, and was given quite a bit of control over a lot know.
So I'll tell you right now. I have a personal. I have a personal story about Saudi. So I know someone who was very, very high up on a very, very. He was very high up in the ladder of a very powerful bank in the United States. He was a father of a friend. Okay. And he told me a story one time where he was owed a Saudi prince owed them a lot of money. And they knew he was flying to Los Angeles. So when his plane landed, and he had a private plane, his G8 landed, and he went out to do his LA thing, they put a fucking boot on the plane. They literally put a boot on the plane. The plane wasn't allowed to take off. They were going to repo his plane. And he said they had a meeting. They said, well, we can sit down and talk about this. Mm-hmm. And they had a meeting the next day. And in the meeting, the guy described to the father of friend, the Saudi looked at him and said, "How is your blank blank children? I know they're attending blank and blank school." Mm-hmm. And then he said, at that point in the meeting, he said, "Okay, we're leaving now," and everyone stood up because he took it as a threat.
Damn.
This man knew where his children went to school.
And let me guess.
Yeah.
It was Hasan Minhaj's kids.
It was Hasan Minhaj's kids. And
it was
but
Hasan Minhaj's kids' school.
That's the thing about dealing with people not from here is they don't really.
I wouldn't know the first thing about dealing with a Saudi. I can barely interact with my own.
Well, they don't
Being
work
around
on our
Persians
level.
is so fucking.
They don't work on our level rules. They don't work the rules like us. You got to look at them and
You're
go,
a dog, just worry.
Yeah, there's a dog. But according to the producer with knowledge of Minaj's schedule, Minaj's meeting with the Saudi embassy happened at least a month before Khashoggi's murder. Something in an email confirms. Minaj said that he conflated the timelines as a storytelling device to make it feel the way it felt. His day-to-day life is not very interesting or compelling. To make it feel the way
it felt.
My comedy storytelling certainly has. This guy's he's a great little storyteller. It just made me feel
the way it felt.
Although Minaj did very publicly criticize Kushner at the time on her gala for the Trump administration's feeble response to Saudi human rights violations, yeah, Trump's the one who's really been giving feeble responses to the Saudis throughout all the presidency. Let's see. There was no ceremonial seat set aside for an activist, let alone one that Kushner sat in. Kushner, whatever. Minaj said that there was another fabrication that served to drive home the emotional truth of the moment.
Emotional truth is such a manipulative term.
Yeah, if I was Kushner, I'd sue Minaj.
It is so oxymoronic. There is nothing emotional about truth. It is or it isn't. When you're talking about objective reality, objective facts, we're not talking about how you feel about a matter. We're talking about what happened and what did not happen. There is the truth, and then there is everything other than that. This guy is a you know what he is an emotional terrorist. He's trying to manipulate our understanding of the fucking English language. How dare he?
You know, he's a pussy.
He's a pussy, and he's got no creative ability whatsoever. He lacks talent across the board. People like this have been we've been mired by shitty entertainment for so long that you're actually kind of numb to shit like this, that seeing a New Yorker article about calling Hasan Minhaj a crook, which we've all known him to be as far as like his shitty entertainment value, but now we know it's actually a crock of shit. It is satisfying. It's satisfying to see that coming from the New Yorker. This would be less satisfying if, it was Ben Shapiro fucking doing another gossip segment that he does on his stupid fucking talk show. He's gay for sure. But, the fact it's coming from the New Yorker, there's value to that. It makes me think, I'm like, is there hope? Probably not. But, like, it's nice. It's nice. And it's a well-written article.
It is a good article.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys can keep reading the rest, but basically he's a fraud. He's a liar. He's a cheat. He's a
spinster.
snake. He's disgusting. And not for being a Muslim. Although that kind of sucks ass too. No offense. Sorry. I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it. I don't like Islam. What do you want from me? I'm Iranian. Look at what's happening to my country.
If
the reason I even live here is because my family fucking didn't like Islam. Nobody likes to we don't like in America, like people don't like to think about that. People like to come to like defend my honor. Ever since I was like a little kid, I had the instinct, like in elementary school, when there'd be like a white kid in Texas trying to like be sympathetic towards me or something. And I'm like, I don't want your fucking sympathy. I don't need your fucking sympathy. There's nothing wrong with what I am or where I come from.
Yeah, you're from Texas.
I don't need your like weird, like whatever you think you're doing that's nice, it's not. Like, and I would never do that to somebody else. I would never try to like pity someone for being black or for being Mexican or for being Chinese or for being a woman or gay or whatever. I've never ever, because it's so disrespectful to that person's character and to their autonomy as a human being. Yeah, exactly. It's extremely patronizing, extremely condescending. And what it does is it reveals about you that you think you're inherently at a morally superior place.
Yeah, it's the
try to
noble savage shit.
Exactly, as though somebody is in desperate need of not your help or your guidance or your assistance, but your sympathy.
Well, that's the white man's burden.
It's disgusting. The white man's burden.
The white man's burden.
What do you mean?
That was a Joseph Conrad pro-slavery or colonialism argument. It was called the white man's burden. We have to uplift these people.
You sound like Frank Underwood right now. You gotta watch House of Cards.
I will.
You would never pity me. You're sorry for what?
I know so much about fucking Persians. I don't know anything about Persians. I'll be honest with you, but I know more than the average Jack.
Of course.
I find them very entertaining, and I find them the best of the Middle Eastern countries is Iran.
as do I, and it's absolutely true.
Yeah, the Persians are the most noble.
I'm sorry.
The most noble and
the most history, the most accomplishments, the most contributions to civilization. Might I add?
You're going a little farther, but
what are you talking about? Persepolis, the Persian Empire. Don't even get me started.
Yeah, relax.
I'll defer to Dan Carlin.
Okay. Defer to Dan Carlin. I gotta listen to. Did he have a Persia episode?
Of course.
Oh, the King of Kings. I've listened to that.
Fucking listen to Xerxes and anyways.
It's fantastic. Yeah, but the Persian Empire is probably one of the most
illustrious. The most
your high elves.
The most
they're high
defining,
elves. They're a bit. They've kind of lost their way, but
they understood a lot about democracy. They really don't get credit for, and the Greeks kind of tried to come in. And anyway, we're not even going to get into all that.
Well, the thing is the fact that we allied with. You guys are wrong there. The fact that we allied with the Saudis and their daisy chain of fucking savage nations.
Well, we created the Saudis. Let's just be honest. That's an American creation, like another country I can think of.
But the fact that we work so closely with the Saudis and their daisy chain of savage fucking allies, as opposed to a country as rich and as honorable in a culture as the Iranians.
Fuck yeah, John.
It's disgusting.
And I'm not going to insinuate that the Iranians have done themselves a lot of favors politically. They have not. But that is a result in large part of it's several factors. Some are the Iranians' fault.
2 plus 2 does not equal 4 here.
But the Iranians jumped on the Americans jumped on a weakness they saw in the political divide and the political fraction that was happening in the 70s in Iran. And a lot of that was, there was a big break. There were a lot of uprisings against the Shah, and there was a lot of economic disillusionment and a lot of economic, tragedy really that was happening to the Iranian people, and they had every right to be upset with the Shah. The Shah was essentially a puppet of the of the American government. When he tried to nationalize that oil, the American government was not having that, as long with the British government,
they did the
coup. Yeah, they did the coup in the 50s with Mossadegh, which, if anyone, I'm sure actually people probably have in here. I'm sure people in here actually are familiar with this.
Audience members.
I'm surprised. I mean, it's kind of cool seeing how smart some of these people are. Smarter than me a lot of the times. And and so a lot of that is America's making. They saw the weakness that was happening with the leftist movements in Iran at the time, and the ones that, because they started advocating to have Khomeini put in there, who was Muslim, because he lied about everything he was going to do once he was in office. He didn't say that this is going to become.
He committed Takia.
Whatever. I don't know. But what he did was a lie. It was dishonest. He fronted as this Westerner, did all those recordings in Paris, and it was really very easily found out within a year to be a complete fraud. Every lie he had said that there was going to be so much, economic, damage control done, and so many people's lives are going to be benefited. And no, you're not going to be required to be Muslim just because we're Muslim. We're just going to be religious leaders. And like they acted somewhat, like they're just going to be these gurus. Like, oh no, we're like Gandhi, and we're so westernized. Look at me, I'm in Paris doing my tapes. It's all fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And of course, it becomes a religious tyrannical hellscape that you can seek no mercy from. And then eventually that turns into bad relationships with the West and sanctions being placed on you years down the line. And there's all these awful ramifications. And it all stems from that 1953 coup, which America has taken responsibility for, but never in any real meaningful way. And then the Iranians, of course, thereafter did themselves no favors, because what can you do when you're under the control of a religious dictatorship? There's not a lot you can do except for what they're doing right now, and unfortunately will probably be to no avail, because there is no other de facto leader to take over that movement and carry its torch to somewhere fortuitous and somewhere that actually could be prosperous for the Iranian people, because you need to have, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, a movement is not enough. You need to have a leader that, like Khomeini, unfortunately, as shitty as he was, and those leftists really regret their choices now for backing him.
They always do.
In the
they
70s.
Always fucking do.
Yeah, a lot of it does kind of seem that way a lot of the times.
And socialists,
but the United States never seems to regret its position in fucking up the world. And again, it's conflicting for me, because I'm here reaping the benefits as somebody who lives in America and loves America, and I'm so proud to be American in so many ways, as much as I often hate to admit that. But then other times I love to admit it. It's very conflicting. But at the same time, I know that Iran wouldn't have been a shitty place to live in had we not fucked it in the first place.
Yeah,
it was a nice place to visit. There was tourism there. There was a zest for life. There was a lot of cool art coming out of there.
I was listening to a Sean Ryan podcast. Hire me. I was listening to Sean Ryan.
CIA.
I was listening to Sean Ryan, and this guy was talking about contracting. This guy contracting in Iraq, and he said when he got there during like the first kind of years of the war, he ran into a South African civilian contractor that was working there, and he was like, damn, the South African looked at the guy and went, damn, you guys really fucked this country up. This place kicked ass before you guys came here. There are clubs, there are all these things we could do. Now it fucking sucks. But here's the deal. Say you're the president of the United States 20 years ago, and 9/11 happens, and Al-Qaeda's hiding out in fucking Afghanistan. Okay, you're a which way Western, man? We're gonna support the Northern Alliance and like fucking create this, have the ANA kind of clean up Afghanistan and get stuck there in a 20-year pit. Or we ally with Iran and we go, what's really going to piss off Osama bin Laden? A bunch of Iranians and Azaris spilling over the Afghan border?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make for some good looking
kids,
that
would have.
Can you imagine those mixed kids?
What a punishment onto Afghanistan to have an Iranian invasion.
Afghanistan, Iran used to be the same thing.
They offered to help clean up. It's like, what would have yielded better results? And like, it's insane.
Well, there's
don't fucking. I may be retarded just to fucking put this out there.
Well, the nuclear deal is kaput.
Let them have nukes. Who gives a shit?
Well, that's a very bold approach that I actually seldom hear from people.
Let them have nukes.
I'm actually not educated enough to really make a decision, but I think, if America's going to wield its nukes and the Western world's going to wield its nukes, then you kind of got to let other people have their nukes.
Bad nukes.
But I don't think anyone should have nukes. I think the only person that should have had a nuke was Stanley Kubrick, and he's dead.
The only people who should have nukes would be the United States, and the problem is we didn't nuke everybody who could have had nukes before everybody had nukes.
The problem is that we didn't nuke everybody?
We should have nuked everyone.
Damn, what, John?
We should have literally...
We should have wiped out the planet and genocided the world? What the fuck are you even saying right
listen
now?
to me. We were exhausted by the end of World War II, but we should have invaded Russia because they were instrumental in the Holocaust and instrumental in Hitler's invasion of Poland. Listen to me. And then we should have fucking nuked China during Korea. And then everything would have been solved.
This is insane what you're just saying right now.
The world, you wouldn't even be worried about mutually assured destruction if we had done what I just said.
Of course I would be. The advent of the technology itself was a death was a death kiss. It sealed our fate the second it was created. It's not like a matter of like, somebody was going to get it out of the other person's hand.
Until 1949.
The whole point of Oppenheimer is like he created the bomb. Once the bomb
don't
exists,
listen. Oppenheimer's a pussy.
That's why he made a bomb. But then we have the bomb, and then oftentimes the people that hold
the bomb, we didn't
bombs,
use it.
A lot of people would have used it and still might, and eventually.
Okay,
maybe
we were the
will.
only guy in the room with a gun with a bunch of guys with knives, and we just shot the most unimportant guy, and then everybody else dropped their knives and picked up guns, and then we're all pointing guns at each other.
I don't even know what's going on.
That's what it was.
I just see Clay in a room with a gun.
Stalin was an evil man. We should have invaded Russia. We should have solved that issue.
I cannot attest to any of John's geopolitical opinions that will change.
The Soviet Union was providing essential fucking equipment to the Nazi Party during the invasion of Poland.
What would Rick Rubin
They were
say
invading
about this?
Poland at the same time.
Let's read an excerpt from Rick Rubin, John. Let me put some zen into your.
What are you trying to fucking?
I'm trying to zen up your geopolitical stance on the world. Okay.
What's a Molotov fucking pact?
Wow,
what was
this
it
is
called?
the first. Actually, one of the exercises in this book is to go flip to a random page in a book and read the first line. Okay, you know what the first line is right here? Here's the chapter title. Nothing is static. Okay, the world is always changing. Oh my God.
The Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact was a non-aggression pact between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union with secret protocol that partitioned Central and Eastern Europe between them. The pact was signed on Moscow on the 23rd of August of 1939 by German Foreign Minister. It was the Treaty on Aggression, and basically this meant Nazi Germany was going to invade Poland and Russia was going to invade Poland, and they were going to be best friends. And there were times where Russia was giving Jews the Nazis. They were handing Jews over to Nazis, if not killing them themselves.
And you don't think we aided in that at all either? You don't think our intelligence apparatus?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
You should read a book called The Devil's Chessboard. We actually absolutely
we might have aided, but the thing is what do you mean?
Yeah,
aided?
it wasn't. We aided.
Wait, we got in there and set it up
Through
no,
our Secretary of State's business interests at the time, yes, and then also the director of the CIA, who happened to be his brother.
Look at this.
Interesting, right? The Dulles brothers.
So, are you saying
they had many business dealings? I mean, I'm just saying we were maybe not as complicit in that sense because it wasn't as far-reaching. Like our entire government wasn't in bed with them necessarily, but they certainly worked for the government.
The Soviet
Union. They worked
Union,
directly with our president, and they had direct business ties to German Nazis.
If Nazi Germany,
that's talked about,
if Nazi Germany didn't invade the Soviet Union, we would have been fighting Soviets as well as Nazis when we invaded Europe.
Okay, well, we can sit here and like create the pilot of the man in the high castle all we want, but
I'm just telling you the fucking truth. I don't know what else to tell you.
I'm just saying. I am a pacifist.
They deserve to fucking nuke.
The innocent civilians, the innocent Russian civilians deserve to die. Innocent people deserve to die, is what you're saying.
Yes.
What are you saying? Why would any innocent person ever deserve to die?
It's not, Ida. It's like...
Yeah, I know. It's a lot more macro than what I'm saying. But what you're saying is that, yes, innocent people deserve to die, which is crazy on its face.
This is what happens is when we nuked Japan, we were doing that to stop more innocent people from dying. The point is now tons of innocent people may die because of things we didn't do before everyone had the opportunity to do it.
Okay, but
a lot more innocent people might die.
Saying we should
think about all the innocent people the Soviet Union killed in Afghanistan because we didn't fucking invade them in 1945.
I mean,
think about all the people that were killed in the fucking
and then look
pogroms.
at all the innocent people that died because we invaded Afghanistan.
Exactly, but I'm just saying,
own people
our government. I think our government is a little bit more moral back then. But the thing is like, just think about
what era? In what era?
In the 40s and 50s.
I really don't think so. I actually think that was. I think that was the height of the malevolence starting to be created.
I think it's the worst that's ever been now.
No, well, who am I talking about? The Dulles brothers specifically came about during the OSS before the CIA even was.
The Dulles brothers, who are those?
The Dulles brothers. So Alan Dulles was the director of the CIA, who basically killed JFK, essentially.
Yeah.
And then his brother, John Foster Dulles International Airport in D.C. is named after him, was the Secretary of State under Eisenhower. And so this military-industrial complex, as we know it and as we knew it as Eisenhower's farewell speech, is really based a lot on the very beginnings of the intelligence agencies being created, of which were led and headed by the Dulles brothers, who worked in concert with together and with the Eisenhower administration to commit unbelievable amounts.
Yeah, it was just the flu back then, but now it's a cancer.
I mean, what they did in Iran is you can relate back to them.
Yeah.
I mean, the MK Ultra program, you can go back to them. If anybody hasn't read The Devil's Chessboard, it's really by David Talbot. It's an incredible book, and it really kind of really goes into the history of all this and how World War II was impacted by these two guys specifically, and kind of the apparatus that was built around them. And it's really, honestly, extremely fascinating. And that book alone has changed so much of my perspective on where these like Cold War maladies took their roots. And a lot of it is these two guys. And again, we have an airport named after them in DC, after one of them. It's crazy to me, the amount of and nobody wants to talk about it. The Warren Commission, by the way, was led by Alan Dulles, who was fired. JFK fired him, and then he killed him, John.
Yeah.
John,
no, JFK was cool, though.
No, but listen to me.
Yeah.
You're president of the United States. You're president of the fucking United States of America. You're the youngest, hottest president ever, okay? Your name is John.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the hot wife who kind of looks like a hammerhead shark, but she's hot, right? And she's good at decorating the White House. And, whatever. Jackie Onassis. We love her. And so you're fucking dating Marilyn Monroe, dude. You're fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah.
You're going to abolish the CIA. You're gonna fucking pull the troops out of Vietnam, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You're amazing. You
blows your head off.
You fire the head of the CIA as president, as commander in chief.
Mm-hmm.
He fucking kills you, and then guess what?
What?
He sits on the board of the team investigating your murder.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, brother.
It's amazing, bro.
Hell yeah, brother.
It's incredible. It's incredible, the overreach, the abuse, the blatant use of power, the autonomy you have, the secrecy with which you lead your life. Just being this convivial, very charismatic guy who everybody wants to go to dinner parties with, but who will slit your throat in the middle of the fucking night and will not ever leave a trace. and will live a great life after he's created the MK Ultra program and made tons of money with German businessmen, hanging out with people that were hanging out with Hitler. They're
Operation Paperclip was one of the worst things we ever did.
Literally disobeying the president, FDR's orders at every turn, living and working in a government as though you were a lone actor and you get to just create the fate of America, and you do, and you did, and you've created the fate of much of the world and changed regions completely from a position of complete secrecy and no authority over you whatsoever. And then if somebody tries to implement some authority, you whack them like you're in the fucking mafia, and then you might actually hire the mafia to help you in that pursuit. Anyways, it's disgusting. All right, guys, if you haven't read The Devil's Chessboard, please do. No, I'm not in the CIA. To the guy who's gonna message me. Yeah, that guy's always messaging me.
Ida would be the worst CIA agent of all time.
Yeah, I would just go leak the shit on my stupid podcast. I'd be like, I'm doing an episode about this, guys. You might not want to reveal the classified documents with me. This would be great content.
I'd be in Leavenworth
I'd
right
be
now.
They'd call me a whistleblower. I did not mean to whistleblow. I was literally trying to create
I'm a whistleblower.
Amazing content for everybody. Okay, guys, I'm gonna get in and out. Are you gonna get?
Oh,
anything?
really?
Yeah, I am.
No.
All right, guys, we love you. Thank you for being here. You are the best because you're on our Patreon, and we'll be back next week. We love you very much.
Love you guys.
Good night.
Bye.
And good luck.